So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mels Gaming here with another The Hunter Classic video. Now it has been a long time since I actually got round to posting a The Hunter Classic video, and to be honest with you, all of the clips in this video were at this point recorded months ago. And I literally just haven't gotten round to putting them in a video because there's just been one thing after another happening, and I just haven't had the opportunity to put these in a video. And finally I'm getting round to it. Starting off with this giant 16.8307 scoring Grey Wolf. And this was a new personal best for me. He was pretty high up on the leaderboard too. And I didn't know if he was going to be as big as I thought he was going to be, which is why I shot him at that distance with the snakebite bow from this tree stand. Otherwise, I would have actually taken him with my gun in the Hunter Classic, the 3006 Stutzen Mels edition, which is the gun we're going to be using for the rest of the trophies in this video. And basically, that's what I was doing. I was out hunting for trophies to take with my gun that I had put in the Hunter Classic with the last year's Summer Fiesta event. And I was literally just trying to hunt around, trying to find some trophies, ended up having that wolf come into a stand, and then ended up finding this pretty decent sized mule deer buck. Now, he is not massive, and I knew that that one short tine was going to hurt him, but he is pretty decent at 214.5669 score, so an okay buck, especially for me, because my track record with mule deer is not great. Now, I was here on Timber Gold really hoping for a good size non-tip, but a nice size typical isn't something I'm going to say no to, and I mean, my personal best for these guys as typicals is only a 229, so, you know, I just not had the luck with big mule deer over the years, so any decent sized mule deer, I always get really excited to see them. Now, the next clip is another one from Timber Gold, and we actually have a pretty good size male puma coming in, actually along the river here. Now, I got a call from him, knew it was a male, put the caller down, and he just came straight in, and it just made it such a nice, easy shot to drop him there. And when I saw the weight when I picked him up, I knew that hopefully he should be pretty good with that weight, and waiting forever for the score to calculate, and I was thinking, oh goodness, I hope it does calculate. And it's actually a 15.8305, which actually placed him about halfway up the leaderboard at the time, and was actually a new personal best for me. So I definitely wasn't going to complain about that. I mean, this was basically a bonus kill while on a mule deer hunt, because you can see I'm on the river. I was walking up and down the river looking for mule deer, and this guy just so happened to be walking around in the same area. I wasn't specifically looking for puma, so to get a personal best just by accident was really, really cool. And every time I get to take a trophy shot with my Stutzen in it, I just absolutely love it. I love what they did with the design for my gun. They took my design that I made for it and really just captured it so beautifully, and it's just stunning to look at in game. I absolutely love that gun, and it's such a versatile gun that it means that I can take a lot of different animals with it, so it's perfect for actually taking on trophy hunts. Now, this particular large blacktail buck was actually shot during the blacktail event for April Fools, so that will tell you how long ago this was. And I knew this guy must be pretty big, and I shot him and he was a 192.7163, which actually made him my new personal best. My previous personal best was a 190, so this was really cool to get while I was just trying to harvest a couple of blacktail. And I was really, really super happy with it. I knew he had to be big when I saw that big, sort of square, blocky looking frame. So was super, super happy to actually get a personal best while out here looking for those April Fool's animals. Really, really cool. Now, also on Red Feather Falls, I came across this. This is actually a Piebald cow moose, and she was just led here having a sleep, which it's always cool to see in Classic all of the different animal interactions and animations and behaviours that they can have. And it's always funny to me to come across sleeping animals. It's just something that you don't really get in the other hunting games. Like, you'll see animals led down and stuff, but they won't actually be asleep and let you get really, really close like you can in this game. So I wanted to get pretty close to her and then try and drop her in one clean, quick shot with the 3006 Stutzen. So I was just looking here to sort of weigh up my options, and I was hoping that my gun would be able to punch through to the heart if I took this angle. I was pretty confident that it would, and sure enough, she never moves from actually being led asleep there. That was really cool. Just something a little bit different to shoot a sleeping animal in the heart. Can't say that that's something I've ever done in Classic before. And the Piebald cow moose are interesting. When I first saw her, I wasn't sure if she was the light fur type, which is a fur type they added a while ago for moose. It's just a common fur type, but when you see it in sort of different lighting, you can think it's a piebald. And when I saw this moose, I was like, is that a light or is it a piebald? And just double checked, could see the sort of extra patchiness with the brown spots in the fur, and realised it had to be a piebald. So that was a really cool find, and just a really cool encounter and trophy to end up taking with this beautiful gun. I just love seeing it in these trophy shots. It's just such a cool thing. Every time I think about it, that I have a gun in one of the best hunting games ever made, it just blows my mind. I mean, to me, that's something so incredibly cool, and something that, you know, for me as somebody, you know, who started this channel just to try and share things that I found, it's something I never would have expected. And it's, every time I get to use this gun, for me, it's a privilege. Every time I see it in other people's trophy shots, it's so cool, and I just feel so honoured. So I do absolutely love using it. And we did just drop a different piebald. Here, actually, on Hirschfelden this time, we have a piebald Rhodo. Now, I've had a few different piebald roe deer. I've actually had a good-sized buck, but I do have a soft spot for the roe deer. I know a lot of people aren't very keen on them and find them quite annoying, but I think they're great. I really like the roe deer in Classic. The big ones look fantastic. I really like the rares, and I loved how this trophy shot came out. Just everything about it, sort of the muted colours and then the bright blues and like stark black contrast on the gun. I thought it came out looking really good, so I was really happy with that trophy shot. Now, moving on to the next animal, and we have another piebald animal here on Hirschfelden, and this time it's actually a wild boar female. Now, I spooked this thing because I was running around trying to level up my pointer, and he's so close to being able to track felines, and I really want to take him on a puma hunt at some time and just see how that goes. So I was running around on Hirschfelden just getting him to point to as many different pheasants as possible, and ended up spooking this particular wild boar and ended up tracking her, and I couldn't stop my character walking quick enough, and by the time I got to stop walking and saw that she was there, she obviously charged me. And I think that's the first time I've ever been charged by a rare or any kind of trophy animal in Classic, so that was quite cool. And even though I did hit her far back in the intestines there, she didn't actually go that far. 4-minute wound time, and yeah, she really didn't go all that far, so I was actually pretty happy with how that went. It could have gone a lot worse. I could have missed the shot, I could have ended up being actually knocked down, so I was pretty happy with that. And this is my first ever piebald wild boar. I've had a few albinos, but this is my first piebald. Now, piebald for the wild boar in Classic is a rare, but it is not a rare for the feral hogs. So these on Hirschfelden, if you see a piebald one, then that's a rare, but the ones on things like Loggers Point and Bushrangers, the piebalds for those aren't rare. So that was actually cool to get a piebald wild boar. Now, this clip is a bittersweet one. I have been wanting some rare fallow in Classic for ages, other than piebalds. The piebalds seem to be fairly common rares for these guys, and I've had a few of them, but I really wanted to get the Leucistic and the Melanistic, and I found this Leucistic doe, and it took me ages to track her down because once again she got spooked by something else that I spooked. I saw her running and just had to spend ages trying to track her down, trying to work out which doe she actually was. It was a real pain. And you can see there, rarity Leucistic. I was so incredibly excited. Even though it's a doe, you know, rare animals in Classic are just so much rarer than in other hunting games. And even a rare doe, I was just so excited about it. Like, to me, that was the coolest thing. But unfortunately, there's no trophy shot of this beautiful doe. She is in my trophy lodge, but no trophy shot, because as I was lining up this trophy shot here, my mouse ended up dying, and I couldn't work out why I couldn't actually move around in the trophy shot anymore. Started pressing all the buttons and stuff, trying to get the trophy shot to move and stuff, and yeah, exited out of the trophy shot. So no trophy shot for that Leucistic, which is really sad. Realised after that it was actually the battery on my mouse that had died, and I was really annoyed at myself. But, you know, she's in the lodge, and I'll be able to see her in there anytime I want to, and I'm really happy that I actually got to see and shoot a Leucistic fallow. Now, moving back to Timbergold, and we have another first. This is an albino mule deer doe. Now, as I said, I wanted to take trophy animals in this video with my 3006 Stutzen, and I was actually in a tree stand hoping for a non-typical mule deer, and called in some does, and amongst them was this albino. And I tried to shoot her from in the stand, and the shot must have hit the stand. From everything I've been told when I told people about it, they said, yeah, you must have hit the stand with the shot, because no shot impacted her, and obviously she spooked off. So ended up tracking her down and managed to shoot her just here on the river, which was really cool. But what's even cooler is this guy. How epic is this? He came in again to a tree stand as I was sat here hoping for a non-typical, and you can see I've been shooting other deer around this stand, and I was so excited. My first ever albino mule deer buck. Now, I knew if I waited for the call to sort of run out, that eventually he should hopefully walk across the road, and then I would try and drop him with the Stutzen, and that worked perfectly, which I was just so stoked about. I mean, he's a good size. He's not massive, but those aren't tiny antlers by any means. This was such a cool thing. And I got this, like, 1 or 2 hunts after the albino doe, and it was so funny to me because when I shot the albino doe, I, you know, obviously taxed it and everything because it was my first albino mule deer, and I said, now let's hope that one day I end up finding a buck, and then literally ended up finding this buck not very long after, which was just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the albino doe, I ended up shooting her on the river just behind where this stand is, and then this guy comes into this stand while I'm actually sat in it on a different hunt. Just actually insane. Such a cool looking deer. I was so happy about it. I wish it had been a little bit brighter when I actually shot him, and I did leave it sort of 10 minutes before I went to pick him up, just hoping it would get a bit brighter, but I was so scared that the game might crash or something, so got down and had to get a cool trophy picture of this guy. Actually one of my favourite kills of recent times in the Hunter Classic, just something that, you know, I was out here looking for trophy mule deer, and to get a trophy buck was something really cool. Not a non-typical, and, you know, if you're in the community a lot, you'll probably hear all the jokes about me and non-tips. I just don't get lucky with finding many non-tips or big non-tips, but I get, like, really good luck with other things, like getting 2 rares really quickly and stuff like that. So I was super happy to get this buck. I was actually thrilled, and I'm so gutted that it's taken me so long to actually end up with this guy in a video, but like I said, it's just been craziness. Ever since I had sort of what I class as enough clips for this video, because I like to try and do about 10 decent trophy animals in a video, and finally by the time I had 10 clips for this video, other news for other games started happening, new releases, all kinds of things, my health, and just all sorts of things. I mean, I can barely play Classic at the minute, because ever since I got really sick and ended up in hospital, I ended up really hurting my neck, and it's actually playing up today as I record this. And I find using a keyboard and mouse actually really difficult. I've never been great at using a keyboard and mouse anyway. I'm very slow on keyboard and mouse. I struggle with all of the different keys. But I actually find that it strains my neck to sit and use a keyboard more than it does to use a controller, which is another reason I haven't played as much Classic recently. And it makes me so sad, because I love Classic and I want to get back on the non-tip hunt. And I'm thinking I might end up doing it and just, like, see on good days if my neck will cooperate and won't hurt when I try and play this game. But I'm super happy with the trophies we got in this video, and I'm so glad that I can finally put this video out on the channel, because I know there's been a few people who have been wanting to see some of these clips and, you know, wanting some more Classic content. So I apologise for the lack of Classic content, but finally here is all of these animals that I've been waiting to actually share with you guys. But that is going to be it for this video, so thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.